Hey guys, I hope you're doing well and happy new year wherever you're watching from. So I want to do a trade breakdown of GbpAud, which I took this week on Tuesday. It's been playing for a very long time, been down and up for a while. I took the trade on Tuesday, it's closed on Thursday, so it's taken roughly. I took it on Tuesday night and it closed on Thursday, roughly I think 4 p.m. or something. Yeah, 3 p.m. Yeah. So that means it's taken a lot of time. I think roughly over 30 hours, if I'm not wrong, just approximating. So it was a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. I was risking 45 pips stop loss, and I was targeting 140 pips. So I'll get straight into the trade breakdown. So I'll start with the daily time frame just to show you some sense of direction. If you look at the daily time frame, for the past few days, you can see we've been having a series of bearish candlesticks and um, pound Australian dollar has been dropping. And even before the drop started, I want you to realize that we had some sort of M pattern here above, which happened a while back because remember this is the daily time frame. This happened roughly, I think, somewhere in December. We had the M pattern, and as we know, the M pattern is an indication that there's a possibility of bearish market. So for the M pattern, if you look carefully on the 4-hour time frame, same thing. The pattern was complete. Then GbpAud has been dropping for a while. So on the 1-hour time frame, just to confirm the direction, you realize that price has been forming lower highs and lower lows since the pattern was formed, which was somewhere here. GbpAud has been having a series of, if I'm to mark, been having a series of lower highs and lower lows. Yes. So that is a sign that the market, has been on a bearish trend. So having identified the trend direction, I know that I'm more likely to, get a good trade if it's going to be a bearish trade. So after knowing the market is selling, I'm only trying to look for bearish trades most of the time. Now, as you might know, I trade using supply and demand. So if the market is bearish and you're looking for a sell position, I'll definitely be looking to mark the supply zones and wait to see how price will react at the supply zone. So remember the week started here. This is where Monday was, and I took the trade somewhere here on Tuesday. So if you are to reverse back to Monday, the price was trading up. I mean, it was headed to the upside. So when price starts to go back up, I come and mark my supply zones. Because remember, I've already identified that the general trend direction is what? Bearish. So I'm looking for bearish setups and I'm anticipating to see whether I'll get a bearish confirmation at the next supply zone. So I come and mark supply zone, which is where this previous impulse move started to the breakout candlestick. Then I extend to the right. So that becomes our supply zone. So now when price comes back here, which is on Tuesday, the first thing that I'm trying to look is just to see how price will react because I'm anticipating a bearish move. But as I always say, there's a possibility of price getting to this zone and it actually breaks upside very strongly. So just because it's a supply zone does not mean you sell immediately. I keep on repeating that. So when price gets to this point, I want to get some sense of bullish weakness, which I got. We had several weeks. In fact, you can count them. We have about 6, 7 shadows here, which is a sign that buyers are being rejected. So you can see the difference. Price has been moving up, for a while. But then when it gets to this supply zone, which is a zone where we're anticipating strong selling pressure, we have a lot of bullish rejection. And the more bulls are rejected, the more we're anticipating that sellers should be strong because the bulls are being rejected by the sellers. Yeah. So now after getting that rejection, all I'm waiting for is confirmation that sellers are strong. If we get confirmation that sellers are strong, that will be enough for me to get into a bearish trade. So as usual, most of the time I do look for long candlestick because a long candlestick indicates, strong momentum. And in this case, we got a long bearish candlestick here, as you can see. So we have a rejection, we have a long bearish candlestick. And as always, there must be a neckline for it to be a valid confirmation for me. Why? Because I always take my entries at the neckline. So after getting the long bearish candlestick, I don't come and take my sell position here. I wait for price to retrace all the way to this neckline here. Yes, that is how patient I am. So I wait for price to retrace at the neckline. So the next candlestick, which was roughly at 6 p.m., it went back to the neckline. So if you've realized I took this trade at 9 p.m., yeah, I know you saw that. So the confirmation was at 6 p.m., but I think it was not on my charts. But then at somewhere at 9 p.m., which is here, the candlestick traded back to this point. So when the price trades back to the neckline is when I come and place my order there. Then on GpbAud, I use roughly a stop loss of 45 pips. Then my TP was 140 pips. In fact, I was targeting more. I was targeting close to 200 pips. As you can see, it's still dropping, but because of the CPI and the news and the volatility, I just decided to close at 140 pips because it was still significant amount of, pips. So long story short, that is how I found my trade. Same thing. Supply zone. Don't forget the first step is to identify the trend direction. So I was able to identify that the price is headed to the downside. Then I mark my key supply zone, wait for price to retrace, see how it will react. If it gets here and there is no significant reaction, don't try to take the trade. Even if it gets here and it forms a very good pattern and there's no very, clear reaction that the sellers are trying to become strong or the bulls are being defeated and becoming weaker, I would rather not take that trade. But in this case, we had several rejections, this is like a no-brainer. This is actually like a very perfect confirmation because normally I just want to get even one or two rejections. But here we got several rejections, which is enough confirmation for me that, you know, buyers are very weak. Then we get the breakout candlestick, wait for it to retest the neckline. So I'll just again give you a quick tip. Always stay disciplined to the strategy, depending on the strategy you're using. For me, I've already backtested my strategy. I know how it performs. I know the best way to use it. I know the best stop loss. I know the best take profit. That is why you see I already have a fixed stop loss of 45 pips and this TP that I was using. And I also know the best time to exit my trades based on the back test that I've done. I don't guess. I don't just decide my stop loss will be 50 pips. No, I already have consistent data that I've used from the past market, you know, backtesting. So the importance of discipline is that it helps you to consistently make, to take good trades and to avoid losing trades. In this case, we realize this was my entry point. I take entries at the neckline. That is my discipline. It's because I've also backtested and I've seen that if you take the entry at the neckline, you're more likely to, to not get stopped out. Now, the challenge is if sometimes, let's say you're impatient, then the trade is here, you got your confirmation, the next candlestick starts dropping, so you come with your impatience and you're trying to jump onto this trade here. I want you to see the same stop loss of 45 pips this time, it went and it got hit. So I hit a stop loss of 45 pips if I try to chase this trend. But just because of patience and waiting for you to retest the neckline, the price never went back to 45 pips. And if anything, it went all the way to profit and was able to get my 140 pips TP. So it's possible to have two traders with the same analysis, all of them anticipating a sell on this trade. But just because of the difference of the entry point, one of them will hit TP, another one might hit stop loss. Yeah. So that's it for this trade.